Wrestling Inc. It's me, Wrestling Inc. Senior News Editor Nick Hausman, and I am joined here at WWE SummerSlam Media Row by the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Jimmy, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me here today.
You know, Nikki, baby, it's unbelievable.
Oh, baby!
Right. Hey, you're pretty close to the voice.
Thank you. I'm a huge fan of yours, Jimmy. I got to talk to you Money in the Bank weekend, mostly about Andy Kaufman, which is a huge topic for me. And I thought I'd pivot a little bit, man. There's some celebrity influence here this weekend at SummerSlam, right? We got Logan Paul. He's going to be mixing it up here with The Miz. What do you think about Logan Paul joining WWE?
You know, I think he's going to be great. I like his outfits. I like his enthusiasm. He's got a heck of a lot of people on his podcast that listen to him. He's got a pretty big following, so I think he's going to make a lot of money for the WWE and for himself.
Well, you know, it's interesting, too. It's not just Logan Paul, the celebrity influence here. Man, The Miz, when he was turning into Celebrity Miz, Hollywood Miz, I remember him saying that he watched a lot of Andy Kaufman tape to really try to figure out his character now. Do you see any Andy influence in the work that The Miz does?
Well, let me tell you about The Miz. When he first came to the WWE, guess who the first tour he went on with? Me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. My good friend Adam Hopkins, he had us booked promoting all the stuff that was going around one of the WrestleManias in Orlando years ago. And he called me and said, "You're going to be with this kid named Miz." And I went, okay, great. And we went out together for a 4 or 5 day tour, and The Miz was great. And I told Adam when it's over, I said, this kid's going to be a star.
You knew it from the moment.
Hey, he had that personality, he had that showbiz feel, and it was just something about him that I thought was going to click, and it did.
Well, what about the Andy influence? I mean, you know, do you see any of that kind of Kaufman-esque kind of energy with Miz?
You know, I got to be honest, Andy was one of a kind. You know, Andy stayed at my house a lot. I was with him for over a year in Memphis, and there was just something very special about Andy that I felt like nobody else has really grabbed that lightning in the bottle. So that's just my opinion.
For sure, yeah, absolutely. And your opinion is more valid than mine. That is for sure on this matter, Jimmy. The other one here this weekend, Pat McAfee is going to be taking on former NFL teammate Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. Sorry, I wanted to call him Baron Corbin. I knew that wasn't right. But Pat McAfee, man, talk to me about this guy, right? Another celebrity that's found his life in the world of professional wrestling. What do you think of this guy?
You know, I've always said, you know, football players want to be in wrestling, wrestlers want to be in football. But let me tell you, Pat McAfee is really good on the mic, man. Yeah. He is so good, and I watched him in the ring. He had a lot of great experience going down and working out down at NXT, of course. And he had a couple of matches down there. But there's something special about him, too. He gets it. He knows when that camera's on, you do everything you can to get that attention. He does a great job of that.
Well, we've seen quite a few WWE stars at this point actually go down to NXT, work with talent. I'm sure that there are a lot of NXT stars that would love to have the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, in their corner, helping to mold them. Has there ever been any talks of you kind of like working with younger talent down at NXT in that capacity?
Can you believe it? That's such an injustice. They should be calling me to do that. So Stephanie and Triple H, don't forget, Jimmy Hart's right down there in Tampa, Florida. It's just a short drive to Orlando, baby. I think I could help.
So
but
wait,
it's up to them.
So you would be open to going down to NXT?
Oh, man, yes, because that's part of our future. NXT is part of our future. I'd love to go down there and help out, do anything, you know.
Yeah, for sure. What about the main roster? Is there anybody in WWE that you sit there and you say, man, I think I could help this person. I would really love to be in their corner and be their manager right now.
You know who I think I could really help? Dominic
Mysterio, okay.
Yeah, because just if his daddy retires, I think I could go in and really help Dominic. I think Dominic's young right now. He's got a lot of potential. He's very good as he is now. But I think somebody like Jimmy Hart with him would be tremendous.
I cannot argue that, Jimmy. And then let's take a look at the main event tomorrow night. Man, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, last man standing. A lot of people, I mean, Roman is saying, I hope this is the last time. A lot of fans are saying, maybe I've seen this match a time too many at this point. How do you feel about tomorrow night's main event?
I think the main event is going to be a lot of surprises. I think the key to the main event tomorrow night is going to be, you know who?
Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman, that's right, because is Paul going to stick with the tribal council leader, Roman Reigns, or is he going to flip the coin and join his good old buddy Brock Lesnar? So that's who I'm going to be watching out for, is Paul Heyman.
Well, you know, you obviously are such a prolific manager, Jimmy. What do you think of the work that Paul Heyman does, you know?
Oh, you know what? I love Paul Heyman. Let me tell you why. A lot of times when guys do interviews, you hear them go, what? The fans love Paul Heyman because when Paul Heyman comes out, they never go, what? When he does his interviews, they never say, what? And so that means he's got their respect. So I love Paul Heyman, you know.
Sure. Well, and lastly, I got to ask you about the biggest news in professional wrestling, Jimmy. You were at WrestleMania one, right? We've had this conversation before. Vince McMahon has been running WWE for 20 years now. You were down there in Memphis wrestling Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler when Vince took over WWE. What is it like for you right now to sit in this moment and watch Vince McMahon retire and exit WWE seemingly completely?
Well, it's another part of history. I was part of history at WrestleMania 1. I was part of history at SummerSlam #1. And this is another part of history, too. Everything moves on. I've always said before, this company's always kept rocking and rolling. The Hulk came and went. Stone Cold came and went. The Rock came and went. John Cena came and went. And all of a sudden, it's still going strong, bigger, and better than ever. So it just keeps on evolving and going on and on and on. I'm sure it's going to do the same thing.
Awesome. Hey, Jimmy, I want to thank you so much for the time.
Hey, I love you, baby. And we both have one thing in common.
What's that?
Converse tennis shoes, and we love Andy Kaufman.
That's true. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.